Season 14 is finally here. Finally. I don't know about you guys, but Season of the Chosen kind of felt like it was starting to drag a little bit. It was right around the time I finished my 9,728th Battleground. It just hit me like a sack of potatoes. I'm sitting there and I just start thinking, wow, this is actually unbearably redundant, and I don't want to do it anymore. So you know what? I'm glad the Season of the Chosen is over. Moving on. Anyway, we're going to be taking a look at the new seasonal artifact. There's a bunch of new mods here, and from what I've seen so far, a lot of them have the potential to be some real bangers. I don't even have them yet, and it's already got my tits perking up. As long as there's some real synergy here, I don't care. Last season we had a few mods that were cool, but a lot of them lacked any sort of heavy build synergy. Give me something I can work with. That is all I want. So without any more artificial lengthening to make YouTube's algorithm happy, let's take a look at the Paradrome Cube, which is, it looks... If it doesn't get bigger the more I unlock, I'm gonna have an aneurysm. Last season we had overload bows, unstoppable pulse rifles, barrier scouts, unstoppable hand cannons, and barrier SMGs. Now, I'm not gonna lie here, I'm already kinda missing that overload bow, mostly because it turned Trinity Ghoul into a sentient champion slaying machine god. This season we've got overload SMGs, barrier scouts, unstoppable sidearms, overload hand cannons, and barrier auto rifles. Not super crazy about having a pre-fire just to stun the overloads that will inevitably show up just to cuck me. That's always been an issue and it always will be. The sidearm is a nice touch though, definitely a fresh feeling given the fact that we'll be able to stagger and freeze with cryothesia, so I'm looking forward to that. Barrier auto is definitely going to rein in all the old rapid-fire auto rifles we've had sitting in our vaults for the last 3 months or so maybe some good can come out of this. The loss of sniper scout targeting and scout loader is painful, especially considering the Dead Man's Tail nerf. That definitely stings a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. See, we didn't actually lose scout loader, which means Dead Man is still a thing that I can use, and I'm not complaining about that. Tier 2 itself consists of grenade scav, rocket scav, unflinching pulse, scout loader, and in one of the laziest design choices this season, blast radius. Yes, that's right. It's the exact same mod that all of us already have, just cheaper. The price does make it better, and I guarantee you that we'll see it everywhere, especially considering we've also got grenade and rocket scav. I'm still salty about this though. I feel like it was a complete and total waste of an artifact slot. Anyway, moving on to Tier 3. As much as I loved unflinching scout, I'm glad it's gone. Removing the anti-flinch for scouts will help curb the abuse of Dead Man in PvP alongside of the nerf. Season of the Chosen saw how strong the gun really was, so the removal of this mod is actually a change for the better, even though I can already see all the gunfights I'm gonna lose because I can't aim. In Season 14 specifically, in Tier 3 that is, we've got unflinching auto, great value Argent ordnance, grenade dexterity, rocket loader, and, you guessed it, ashes to assets. Lots of cool build combos could come of these with their cost being reduced, so it's very likely that I'll warm up to the idea in due time. But to me, it still just looks like Bungie wasn't sure what to do, so they just grabbed 3 popular mods and made them cheaper. Now it's time for the meat of this video, that prime cut juicy steak of mods in Tier 4 and 5. You know, I distinctly remember crying about the cost of Barrier Sniper and how it was far too expensive, much like Unstoppable Shotgun. We're gonna do some miniature build concepts while we're at it. After I bitch about how expensive anti-barrier sniper is, I am heated. I mean, is this really necessary? 6 fucking energy? And now here I am wishing I could use them both. That's what we call irony, but luckily we've got a worthy replacement. That being Unstoppable Grenade Launcher, which can pair wonderfully with the mod right next to it called Breach and Clear. Let's take a quick look at the description. When using a grenade launcher, damaging a boss, a champion, or breaking shields, this will reload any stowed weapons and will weaken the afflicted target for a brief period of time. So it's basically just Sundering Glare, but for grenade launchers. Lots of cool build combos there though, I've already got a few ideas. Next up is Hammer of the Warmind. This just causes Warmind cells to stun overloads and unstoppables, which is handy, but it's more of a passive type thing. One of those types of things that you might want to bring with you, but it's not exactly necessary. Yeah, one of those things. Sundering Blast would be great with Breach and Clear, but Breach is 9 energy and this one is 2, so yeah. Sundering Blast creates exactly that. It's an explosive blast on the target being stunned. It's good for clearing crowds when champions show up, as they never spawn in lonely. On another note, I'm kinda glad that Surge Detonators is gone, mostly because I'm sick of using arc-based classes for what feels like everything. It's a nice change of pace to see that mod swapped out, except for the fact that it wasn't, and half of this artifact remains unchanged from this season to last, and I am super salty about that. And don't even get me started on Unstoppable Schwarzschild Condenser. That is 9 syllables that I am not saying more than once because I just don't care. If we're being real realistic though, it's definitely going to be a strong mod for Sentinels to have, especially when paired with Warmind's Decree, which causes Void Splash kills to have a chance at creating a Warmind cell. I'm not going to waste my breath talking about Glacial Inheritance. It was in the last artifact and I am still mad about that. I would, however, like to talk about Impulse Recycler though. Grenade Final Blows grant grenade energy. Multiple copies can stack to increase this benefit. Translation? Take this with Superior Arsenal on bottom tree Sentinel or Magnitude with the top tree Striker. These are grenade-based subclasses, and this mod is an enormous benefit to both of them. Anything that gives you an extra grenade charge or buffs grenades in one way or another. Shinobu's Vow, Lucky Raspberry, Armamentarium, so on so forth, you get my meaning. It's a very strong mod, you don't need to have it to know how potent this could be in theory. And lastly, we've got Energy Accelerant at the bottom of Tier 5. This increases the damage of Chain Reaction, Firefly, and Dragonfly, which is a nice fresh breeze of a mod when compared to all of the stasis garbage we had last season. I am 100% gonna pair this with the Hung Jury because it's finally back and I never thought that this day would come. In retrospect, after taking a good in-depth look at this artifact, I see a lot of things that we could work with here. There's a lot of potential here for some build synergy and creative loadouts, which is all anyone could really ask for. That being said, I'm gonna sit down and actually play this game now, since this video took me like a day and a half to do and I literally haven't even so much as looked at my characters yet. I'm sick of talking, I want to play. I'm in my cell, that's where you'll find me. Goodbye.